Hey guys, what's up? Josh here. Do you ever get that feeling like no matter what you do, you're only going to get in your own way? It's almost like you're shadow boxing with yourself, and unfortunately, you know all of your own moves. You get this horrible nagging feeling, and questions keep popping into your head like, do I have what it takes? Will I ever be good enough? Will I ever create a piece of art that people will actually want to see? Now, this internal struggle mirrors what most artists feel daily, and it's called imposter syndrome. If you've ever felt like a fraud despite your achievements, then congratulations, you're normal. Seriously, don't worry about it, because there is a way out, sort of. I mean, at least there's a way through. Developing a practice can help you kick imposter syndrome's ass every time that it shows up. So, like I said, imposter syndrome is that nagging inner voice saying you're a fraud. It's like fighting your evil twin who's constantly whispering in your ear that you suck. Some of the more common symptoms include self-doubt, thinking that you got lucky whenever you accomplish anything, and feeling like maybe you're just one bad critique away from being exposed. For artists, visual artists especially, it's that fear that your next piece of art is going to reveal that you're talentless. And unfortunately, to a degree, that feeling will never go away. Left unchecked, imposter syndrome seriously fucks with your mojo. It's like trying to paint with a paintbrush made of anxiety and self-loathing. And even the greats like Van Gogh and Picasso wrestled with this resistance, as Stephen Pressfield calls it. Now, like anyone recovering, the first step is to recognize and accept it. So that's what this is. It's an inevitable part of your creative journey and everyone else's, because we all face it every time we sit down to create. And yes, I mean every time. But consistent creative practice is your best weapon against this resistance or imposter syndrome. A regular practice is like building muscle at the gym, so you get stronger and more confident. Doing hard shit consistently makes it feel easier, and then confidence is the byproduct that you get from doing what you set out to do. Seth Godin's book, The Practice, preaches the gospel of showing up. So Godin argues that doing the work, regardless of how you feel, is key, because no matter how much you love what you do, there will be days where you just don't want to do shit. And yes, that is an essential part of choosing something you want to be great at. You have to love it, but that's a different conversation, because sometimes you won't want to. And for visual artists, this means committing to a regular practice and looking at those feelings of inadequacy and then doing something about it. And I'm guessing that's the kind of artist you are. You're the kind of artist that wants to conquer your doubts with the work, or you wouldn't have watched or listened this far. So if you are one of us, we're the ones who work through the doubts. We work on our craft and we shift our focus from that need for external validation toward personal growth. We face those weaknesses head on and we purposefully develop a creative practice. Or maybe you're one of the other artists and you're just going to let imposter syndrome win and then start covering up your inadequacies and then make excuses and invent this other reality where you could have been something. That's not you, right? I mean, let's get practical because I want you to become great at what you love to do. So let's get really practical. How do you beat resistance? First, recognize what your obstacles are. I mean, we all face obstacles, and some of the more common ones are things like time management, self doubt, fear, being a loner, unable to find a community, or just a crap environment for making art. But if you address these obstacles before you even get started, you can eliminate your excuses. So, here are some tips to sidestep some of these more common obstacles that you might face. First up, set very clear goals. So I like to think as my goals as like a compass toward success, not a map because there's no step by step, but a compass will get you like headed in the right direction. So start with some realistic targets like sketch for 30 minutes daily or finish one painting each month. Clear goals will give you a direction and a purpose. And be honest with yourself here. You know you better than anyone, so focus on setting the smallest viable goal you can on one of your weaknesses. Then set that bar very low and see how much you can clear it on your worst day. Second up, create a ritual. So if you can, dedicate specific times for your creative work, like a daily quest. So whether it's dusk or dawn, find your time and do your best to stick to it. And make your practice as essential to you as your morning coffee. And then turn it into a ritual. Your routine here becomes your shield. So start with the same warm-ups and then move to detailed work and customize from there. The routine makes creativity less of a daunting mountain and more like a walk in the park. And then your ritual turns into that prayer for the muse because the muse will only find you if you're working. Third, create an altar of sorts. So if you have a ritual, it makes sense that you'd want to like create an altar to the muse and your creative space will become that sanctuary. Do your best to organize it to minimize distractions, keep your tools handy, and make it a place where you love to be. Personalize it with art from your favorite artists or your own favorite art. Put some plants in there, play music. The right environment eliminates the need for willpower. So set up your space to encourage yourself to work on the practice that you love. And we have to talk about mindset here. So you can crush doubts with the right mindset. That's number 4 on the list. So develop a growth mindset by viewing your failures as learning opportunities. This is one of those overlooked tidbits of advice that pops up everywhere. Like everyone has heard it, but nobody seems to listen. So this is the idea of being an anti-fragile artist. So you get stronger with your obstacles and stronger with your failures. So you can't truly fail. You'll either win or you'll learn. Every failed experiment is a chance to learn and apply that learning the next time you dust off and try to slay the monsters again. Now, that being said, I'm not a psychiatric professional. So make sure you seek therapy or coaching if you have crippling self-doubt. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Which brings us to number 5, joining a community. Not having a supportive community can make anyone's creative journey feel very isolating and discouraging. So seek out and join online forums, local art groups, professional organizations, attend art fairs, workshops, and networking events. Go to cons like Comic Con and just connect with other people. Find a mentor to provide some guidance and support when you need them, and share your journey on social media to connect with other artists and get feedback. Honestly, joining a group of other creators was one of the best decisions I've ever made for my practice. We've shared professional networks, tips and techniques, business advice, and we've all pushed each other higher than we ever could have managed as solo artists. I really hope that these quick tips helped. Yeah, imposter syndrome is a very formidable foe, but it's not unbeatable, even if it is invincible. Developing a consistent creative practice is like finding some sort of personal hidden power. It really transforms you. And remember, consistent efforts lead to significant improvements over time. So to the artists out there struggling with self-doubt, imagine finally overcoming that inner shadow. That's the reward. So start your consistent practice today and be patient with yourself. Share your experiences, join a community, and celebrate every milestone because your creative journey is unique and the world needs your art. So, on that note, thanks for watching. Leave a comment below sharing an experience where you succeeded at something despite feeling like an imposter. I'll leave mine in the comments as well. And make sure you like, subscribe, and all of that fun stuff. Or don't. That's fine too. But until next time, keep drawing, painting, writing, singing, or dancing your hearts out, and be confident while you do it. We'll talk soon.